Well, here it is. Well, it's about lunchtime on Monday. Had a couple of people contact me about not giving an update on the progress of the wings in the last video. Well, the progress is, I'm in the Bunnings Aerospace $130 paint shop at the moment. And if we turn around here, here's one of the lower wings. It's been I guess you call it primed with the grey, what is it? Eco-fill, I think it's called, which is the UV protection. And it's subsequently painted with the Eco Prime, the white stuff. So this is ready for sanding prior to the actual colour coat. I don't know if I can get you in a position to see it, but it sort of looks like sandpaper. It's really quite rough, if you can hear that. Yeah. It sands really easy, but there's a fair bit to sand. So it'll probably take me the best part of a day to sand it. And it actually sands out to super smooth, really nice. Then I can put the top coat on that. So that's where we are with the wings, just in case you were wondering. Well, the wing, the other one's still under the blue tarpaulin out there in the hangar, and it'll take its turn when these rollover stands have been released. I've only got 2 rollover stands, and so I can only do one wing at a time. And the wings were delayed because the fuselage had the rollover stands. But the fuselage is out of the paint shop and hopefully never to come back in here again. So yeah, anyway, that's where we are. Yeah, getting closer by the day. Let's go next door and have a look what's going on over there. All right, the fuselage update. I've started installing these 2 panels, this one and the one on the other side. They're the vertical stabiliser to horizontal stabiliser intersect fairings. I may have to draw some of these holes. They don't particularly want to line up all that well. I'll play with them a little bit further, but most of the screws are in. Just those last couple that don't particularly want to play down the end there. I still haven't done the throttle. I need the swaging tool back, and one of the other builders here has got that. So I'll go and see him later and pick that up. I wound up with the fuel supply to the carburetor. I wound up with 3 issues, and hopefully I've addressed all 3. We won't know until I try to fit it up. But one issue, I guess, 2 of the issues were that I can't have the fuel line connected to the carburetor with the air filter connected at the same time. They interfere with one another. So yeah, that was a bit of a worry. And with the fire shield on the fuel line, it also interferes with the choke mechanism. And it probably interferes in a bad way, that I can probably pull the choke on. I'll have enough horsepower in the cockpit to be able to pull the cable and pull the choke on. But it may very well contact the fire shield on the way off again and not turn off. So I may be running with choke on, which would be probably really bad. But so I had to find a way around that as well. So yeah, I was able to resolve, well, I think I'm able to resolve that. this is the heat shield in question. This end will connect, no worries, with a 1/4 inch connection to the fuel pump. No worries, fuel pump's this direction. And down here, this is a smaller diameter heat shield, which should clear everything nicely. I'm pretty sure it will. This piece of heat shield, it's more, well, it's I don't know. It's more for luck. I think I'm going to have to cut it back off again, or take it back off again. Here's my connection to the carburetor, which is, you know, shames me to show you this. This is plastic fuel line, which is fine for ultralights. I don't like using it. It's not my standard, yeah. But it's about the only thing that will fit on the carburetor and allow the air filter to go on at the same time. My intention was then to slide this piece of flyer shield down over the top of the clamp. The clamp will go here, and slide that down as far as possible and put another one of these homemade wire clamps on there. But I don't think I can. I'll try, but to do that, I'll probably wind up going back to all of the same issues that I had before, where the air filter won't want to fit properly because the air filter sits right here somewhere, and the choke will probably foul on this, the choke mechanism. So I'll probably wind up having to cut that off and throw it away, and just wind up with a clamp straight on that blue plastic fuel resistant pipe. It won't be very fire resistant, and that worries me sort of a lot. So anyway, if you've got a better idea, let me know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe modify the carburetor or something like that. But at the moment, that's where we stand. I'll fit this up later on, and I think it'll fit properly. The standard is what will be wrong, not whether it'll fit or not. I got well, we haven't really talked about this. I decided to put a stripe between the orange and the cream. I've decided to put a pinstripe, and we had a little play the other day with was just some blue coloured cut-in tape, and that worked. Whoopsie, that worked fairly well. The actual application is what we were trying, and it worked quite well. I'll just stick you up there rather than try and hold you. But the actual tape I intend using turned up in the mail today, so let's have a look. All right, well, that's what it is, and that's the colour. Let's see if we can get some light on it. Maybe there. It should be that colour. So I'll have a fiddle with that later on today too, and see. Yeah, see how that looks. If you can hear that, we're gliding today. It's there's a gliding competition on. I think we've had a gliding competition for the last week or so, and I think that finished up. And this is the next gliding competition, and then there's another one starting on the 1st or the 2nd of January. So yeah, we're a gliding airfield as well. So from lunchtime onwards, let's face it, you want to be back in the hangar by then anyway, because it's as hot as all buggery. It's sort of like from 35 to low 40s, and you don't want to be out flying around in that. Glider pilots do, but But regular pilots want to be home and their aeroplane put away and, I don't know, doing something else in the afternoon, wash the aeroplane or something that'll keep you cool and in the shade and maybe whatever. But you don't want to be flying, not in the middle of the day, not around here. But glider pilots, that's what they live for. All right, so that's it. I'm going to get in, see if I can't fit that. I'll see if I can't fit the fuel line without putting any clamps on the plastic end, the blue coloured plastic, and see how my clearances are. And then if it won't fit, then I'll just pull the piece of fire shield off, that couple of inches of fire shield. I'll pull it off and throw it away. But anyway, that's where we are. Let's get into it. All right, let's do a bit of a quick update before we blast off onto today's jobs. Mostly today, or the catch-up today will be mostly centred around the carburetor. Let's go and have a look. All right, let's see how we go. Wait, this is my magnetic pointer, so don't be surprised if it jumps off and grabs things. This lever here is the, well, enrichment lever or choke lever, whichever you want to call it. This is the cable that runs up to the control panel, which I haven't attached yet at the other end. It's attached on this end. You can't see the throttle, but the throttle's back there behind the alternator, which is just here. So here's the fuel line. The fuel line. This first of all, let's come back to this. This orange lead is the earth lead running from the airframe to the engine. So it's just a main earth point for the engine. Yep, I thought the magnet might be a problem. But yeah, I think there were 4 things. One was this fuel supply line. This is the main fuel supply line. If you can see what I'm touching back there, that orange. The orange is a fire shield over the top of the fuel supply line. It attaches to the carburetor right there, right where the end of the pointer is. And I was able to get a clamp on there, one of my new clamps, and that works fine. This little piece here is to cover the end of the fuel line. Hopefully it won't foul the enrichment cable or choke cable. That was another issue, that maybe there's interference between. If there is interference between the two, I'll simply remove this, okay, which I can do fairly easily. The other thing is that earlier I wasn't able to get the air filter on at the same time as I was able to connect this fuel line. I've overcome that to some extent. Matter of fact, it's overcome, no problem, end of story. And here, if you can see that little round device, I'm taking it that's a vent off the carburetor, or a source, a vacuum source. I'm not using that vacuum source, I made my own. Now, if it is a vent, then I'm in trouble. I'm going to have to take this, but I've put a piece of plastic tube onto a barb right there and bent it back over itself and lock wired it in place. So I'm assuming that it's not a vent. I'm assuming that it's a vacuum source, and I've sealed the vacuum source. Okay, so that's That's probably the 4 problems, and I've overcome all of them. So that's good. I'm happy with what I've got, but once I connect up the choke and throttle, I may have to remove all or some of this big piece of fire shield. Yeah, but otherwise all the lines are on, they are good, they look good, they work, appear to work as they should. Happy, happy, happy. So that's the carburetor end, where there's been a number of issues the last few days. But right now, they seem to be all overcome. The engine's still leaking oil out of every orifice, so that's a good thing. It's like a dog's wet nose. If it's leaking oil, then it's obviously very, very happy. Righto. Today's job is to install gold-coloured pinstripe on the intersection between the cream and the orange. Yeah, up and over and around. As you might remember from last week's video, the pinstriping turned up. It's a 3M product, and it's gold in colour, and it's 1/4 inch. Yeah, 6mm. So in order to do that, I've got a bucket here with a little bit of detergent in it and rainwater. Over there in my kitchen area, I have a sink which also has rainwater in it. So I'm going to wash this with detergent. I don't want any, fingerprints or anything else like I'm just putting here. I'll wash this intersection. Then I'll rinse it with fresh water and then wait for it to dry, which it should take about 38 seconds to dry because it's going to be a very hot day here today. It's only, 10:30 in the morning, so yeah, by lunchtime it should be high 30s. I don't think it'll reach 40 today, but it'll be high 30s. So yeah, it's not going to stay wet for very long, put it that way. All right, let's get into it. Well, we're moving forward, albeit at glacial pace. I've got the pinstriping on. This side looks fairly wonky, but I don't know, I guess you get that. There's no doubt about whether it's handmade or not, put it that way. I've still got to trim the pinstriping off at the back there where it comes to a point, and I've got the razor blade at the ready. I sat the wing root fairings on just for the sheer hell of it. This one fits pretty good, the other one's not so flash. Matter of fact, this one, the pinstriping lines up fairly good too. The other one not so flash, but you get that. That's just how life is. This I've got to address this gap, which I will. That's a gap, no question. Now when I put the wings on, and of course the lower wings have got dihedral, so they will lift it up a little bit, not too much, and then whatever gap's left, I'll address that. But yeah, looks pretty good, I think. The colours more or less match, not too different. and it looks reasonably smart. So yeah, that's all you can really hope for. So I'll trim those pinstripes off right at the back there, and honestly, I think the only thing left to do here is to put, well, I need to put the, we'll go over here and have a look. I need to put the data plate on. Here it is here in a heavy sort of a stainless steel. And it sort of needs to, the objective is that this is the story about what the aeroplane is if somebody finds it in a smouldering heap in a paddock somewhere. So it really has to be attached to something that's going to stay fixed to the aeroplane. A lot of people put them under the horizontal stabilizer there somewhere, like Tim has with his, yeah, under there. I can't do that because that's fabric, and you know that's just going to be destroyed. So I think I'm going to put it on the firewall, and there's a position that says I need to be right about here. So I think I'll stick it in there and just pop it on with a couple of stainless steel pop rivets, and that should be it. So that's another job for maybe this afternoon. But anyway, let's get on with it. Well, here it is, Friday afternoon, or Friday morning actually, the Friday before Christmas. I just want to show you one or two things before we get too carried away on what we're doing today. We won't be doing too much today. We never really do too much, do we? But anyway, it's a nice warm day, 37 degrees inside the hangar here at the moment, maybe more. So yeah, a bit over 100 Fahrenheit. And then on top of that, it's windy, so it's at least 25, maybe more knots. So it's not a good day for flying. We're not missing out on anything. Glider pilots will be having a field day out. Yeah, just on the subject of temperature, in the hangar here, when it gets above about what it is now, about the 30, 35, 36, 37 degrees, my iPad shuts down. It'll still play, but it won't charge anymore. It just stops charging. So I've got to go and put this on the charger before it decides it's not going to charge anymore. Okay, as you can see, I'm using the tonneau cover off my Brumby as a workbench. I'll spin you around here again. I want to be able to, my mailbox is just out there, and I want to be able to keep an eye on the mailbox. Yeah, righto. Because I want to see the mailing about something, so probably not a good idea to stir up anything that's black and orange, like this fella that's really interested in the camera, or me. Get out of it, come on. So yeah. All right, back to what I was talking about. This tool, one of my neighbours builds guitars, and he's really, really good at it. And he's discovered this tool, which guitar building people apparently use to put their the receptacles for their jacks into their guitars. It's got serrated teeth on one side and a smooth side, and the other end's got the opposite, so that you can actually slide it onto a nut and do it up, or you slide the other end onto the nut and you can undo it. Bit tricky to do it at the same time. Yeah. It doesn't, the wrong way around it doesn't work very good, but the other way it works perfectly. So you might be interested in one of these. I guess they come from a shop that sells guitar supplies. This is a switch, obviously, that it does, but it also does the connectors on your headphone jacks in your aeroplane. So that's what it looks like. It's a double-ended thing. Yeah. Probably costs a couple of bucks. Made out of, looks like stainless with blue plastic on it, like that. Yeah, now it's stainless again. Oh, very shiny and beautiful. Fingerprints all over it. So anyway, thought you might be interested in that. I had an archaeological dig yesterday in the cupboard under the stairs and brought these out. These are the covers for the bungees, undercarriage bungees. And I'll just show you what that is. It's just a couple of press studs to hold it together. Nothing fancy, and elastic in each end so that it'll expand over the end of the bungees. We'll try and fit one of those in a minute, because whether it fits or not, I don't know. I've got a fair bit of bungee on the aeroplane, so it may not fit, but we'll try it. All right. I don't know how that's going to go up the top here. It might go. We'll try and put the press studs to the back. They're not handed. You don't have a right hand one and a left hand one. And remember, this is the spare bungee. I may have to use it. Maybe I won't. We won't find that out until after I've done a few landings. Oh yeah, you can pull this up here, like that. Bring it around. Oh. Well, that was probably too easy. Good idea to keep the bungees in the dark. But that went straight on there. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Obviously the spare bungee doesn't fit very well, but this will probably still fit properly when the spare bungee gets pressed into service, if ever. Amazing. Let's try the other one. And it needs to go that way. Yeah, this one might be a little bit tighter, I think, but it'll fit. There we go. Wow. Okay, well, I'm happy with that. Yeah, this either the bungees are a little bit different or it's a bit smaller. It doesn't seem to be as big as the other one. But anyway, it'll work. It's on, it's good. Yeah, they look pretty reasonable, don't they? About there. That's my 20 bucks worth of oil that's leaked out of the engine so far. No, that's lovely. I'm happy. Happy, happy, happy. Okay, well that's it from me. Probably for the year. I don't think I'll be making a movie next week, video next week. I've got, well, lots of other things to do to prepare for Christmas yet. So, yeah, try and get away if you can. Get your feet off the ground. You know the rules. And yeah, it'll be either nice and hot or nice and cold wherever we are. So, have a Merry Christmas, and yeah, I hope you have a really good time with your family and friends, and I'll talk to you next year. I can't see me talking before that. Anyway, that's it. Bye for now.